Um, Jennifer, I am so excited to have you on. We have known each other. Ooh, I don't even know how long.
I
10
don't, I
years?
don't know. I was going to say 5 years, and then that doesn't sound right. It's been quite a few.
Yes. And the coolest thing is I always see you evolving in the channel and just filling this niche of how can I help people?
Yeah, yeah.
And of
I think that's
course,
how it should be.
everything that we have been seeing, I just got back from PAX 8 Beyond, as a lot of the channel has, is AI.
Yes.
What was your catalyst to kind of jump in and help MSPs with AI?
Oh, what a great first question. And we didn't plan any of these. So this is, I was like, oh, I know how long we're trying to go, and that's all I know. And I know we'll have no issues. Okay, so I was at an event in the middle of the year in 2025, let's say June, July. And it was the mixer, that first networking night where it's just wall to wall people and it's loud. And I am naturally an introvert. I know that surprises people, but I am naturally an introvert. I have a very hard time going up to someone that I don't know and chit chatting and starting a conversation. But there was a senior executive of the host company. I had just connected with him on LinkedIn like 2 weeks ago, and he was standing by himself. He had a drink. There's all these people swirling around him, and nobody's talking to him. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's an introvert too. So let me go talk to him because that's he's my guy, right? So like I went up to him and I said, "Hey, Peter, you probably don't know me. We're connected on LinkedIn. I just connected with you a couple weeks ago, but can I introduce myself?" And he's like, "Sure." And so I told him who I was. He's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I help MSPs with their sales process. Right now, I'm focused on cybersecurity." And like the first question he asked me, this was his icebreaker question. He's like, "Well, what's something you're thinking about doing, but you haven't pulled the trigger on yet?" And I'm like,
Great question.
what a great question. I'm like, I got to remember that one. And I said, well, I've got this idea that MSPs really need to be talking to their clients about AI.
Mhm.
Now, let's pause for a second because today that's very obvious. Then it wasn't. The ChatGPT was out. Claude was not. There was no co-work. Copilot was out, but it was not what it is today. And so I said, I want to teach MSPs how to sell AI, how to go to market with AI. And he said, why haven't you done it yet? So that's his second question to me. So again, like we skipped the chit chat. We went right for the heart of it. And I said, I think I'm a little early to market. I said, MSPs tend to want to adopt AI internally first. Some of them are kind of laggards when it comes to adopting technology. I think I'm early. And he said, well, a couple of things. He's like, this peer group is trying to figure this out. This group of MSPs is trying to figure it out. Nobody's talking about it. You're concerned that you're going to be early to market. And then he said, would you rather be early or would you rather be late? And I'm like, I guess I would rather be early. Well, there's your answer. And then, like 3 weeks later, I put out feelers to my list, and it broke my Calendly link. And then, about a month or so later, I started my first cohort helping MSPs sell AI to their clients. So that was really my first go-to-market action with AI. I had been playing with it for probably 6 months or so prior to that. It was an early ChatGPT adopter, but that's what has brought me to my new adventure.
That is amazing. How were you able, I don't know if the right word is prove, but to show the ROI of MSPs selling AI?
Yeah, so for the first group of people, they got a reduced dollar figure. It would kind of be like if a SaaS company came to you and said, "We think we've got something great, but we're looking for feedback, and because it isn't perfect yet, and you're going to give us feedback, we're going to give you a discount." So my first group, I did not promise ROI. What I promised is the sales process is going to be amazing. You're going to find materials that are missing or questions that are answered, but you are going to get direct access to me. Everything I can do, I will do. And we did. We found some gaps. We created some new resources. We also deep sixed some resources that were not necessary because we didn't want fluff. We wanted just things that worked. So, proving the ROI to the MSP, was reasonably easy, starting with like cohort 2 and following. So let's call that um, October-ish.
Okay.
I teach them how to create a recurring revenue offer around AI advisory services. I like them to price it around $1,000 a month, and then the beauty of monthly recurring is that it stacks.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so proving the ROI to the MSPs reasonably easy. Proving the ROI to the small business owner,
Hmm.
we don't try to prove ROI anymore. We prove return on impact, which is still an I, but it's not the return on
I
investment.
like it.
So just like when I wrote my book on cybersecurity sales, selling cybersecurity, it's not about the tools and the firewall and the layers of the onion and the stack, all of that. It's about the impact on the business, the impact if you don't have the right cybersecurity or compliance, et cetera, in place. Um, Business impact on the bad side, and then business impact on the good side. If you have it, your intellectual property should be safer, you're protected in case of a lawsuit, you can get better insurance, like all of
Hmm.
those things. So we really lean into business impact. And that's really what business owners really want. And of course, they want it to be a good investment, but it isn't the type of thing where I was listening to a podcast this weekend, and an AI company charges HubSpot $100,000 to build a salesperson for them. It's a full AI sales employee. Not salesperson, sales robot. I don't even, we need new words now. And the person said, okay, so you charge $100,000. How much would it be if they hired a human? And she said about $100,000. And he's like, well, then I'm confused because there's no return on investment. And she said, there isn't for the first one. But that robot, that AI
Compounding.
employee, can be the SDR, the BDR,
Yeah.
the sales engineer, and they can be 10 of those, 10 of each of those roles. So the first rollout, it's not about investment. It's almost like a proof of concept
Yeah.
that it really can do the work of one. And then it's just a token conversation. Like
Hmm.
they really can do the work of 10 people. So that's not the scale that I am teaching my MSP clients. They're not building $100,000 AI employees, but the point is still the same. We are looking for high impact business opportunities, and then we're applying technology to it, and the technology just happens to be artificial intelligence.
That's amazing. Do you think a certain vertical, not thinking about partners, but
Yeah.
of who they serve, is there a certain vertical that was faster to adopt it, or was it just kind of,
It was a little all over the map. We've seen solid adoption with manufacturing, logistics. I think some of that is because they automatically think in terms of efficiency. Like I
Mhm.
picture the old like Henry Ford, line, and if we can just, save a
Yeah,
little bit of time. Sorry about that.
no, that's okay.
So they automatically think in terms of efficiency. Some of the organizations that are harder sales are
Mhm.
maybe attorneys who also tend to be a little distrusting of technology. Accountants, sometimes their tool stack doesn't have like open APIs, it's not easy to
Mhm.
connect to them, things like that. But if you have a logical client,
Mhm.
that's ideal. If you have a client who thinks in terms of time savings is money savings, that's a good client. And if you have a client who's already asking, or experimenting on their own, hello, shadow AI, then those are good clients to talk to. And what we're seeing is anywhere from about a third to two-thirds of clients are responding to just simple hand raiser emails.
Okay, that's wonderful. I was thinking when you said attorneys, I was like, yeah, how can they charge by the minute? If it's
Right, right. I was just reading a blog post this morning where it's like, is it honest? And this was more like in digital marketing, but like if you charge for a blog post and you're like, you will pay me $500 for every blog post I produce.
Mhm.
But it used to take me X hours to create
Right.
that blog post, and now it takes me X minutes. Should
Mhm.
I still be charging $500? And there was this whole ethical discussion about that, and whether that is dishonest. I don't like trading time for dollars anyway, but you're right. Attorneys do. Sometimes accountants do, even if it's hidden behind their fees. So yes, there are tricks of the trade for depending on who you're speaking to, for sure.
What if the client asks the MSP about data protection? Like, how are MSPs answering that question?
Yes. So what we're finding is that the non-sexy compliance, data governance, all of that we all in this industry like get excited about, and we know how important it is. Those projects have historically been hard to sell. So what we're finding, I just had a client overseas. He's actually in Japan, and he is essentially positioning it like, yes, this is a great AI project, but before we can do the AI project, we have to get your data in order. And then they price the data project like they should in order to give them, what is it? Sell them what they want, the AI project, but then you have to give them what they need. And so they're finding that the slightly less sexy compliance and data silos and that type of thing that traditionally has been adopted by upmarket companies,
Yeah.
now we have to do it, because if we're going to put whatever, a large language model in place or a
Mhm.
chat bot in place, we've got to make sure that it can't access your HR files. So someone on the website can't say, what is
Right.
your social security number? And if I'm an employee there, I would like that to not become public.
Right.
So that's what we're finding is that I call AI the gateway drug. I'm sure there's a better way to position that, but it communicates the fact that AI is exciting and it's sexy and it's what the
Mhm.
small business owners want, but what
Yeah.
they need in order to do it safely is the compliance and the data silos and things like that.
Got it. I heard somewhere, and maybe this is like putting the cart before the horse, or was it the chicken or the egg? But just to go adopt AI, but not knowing why you're adopting it
Yes.
is a real problem. Like people who go to get it and then they're trying to make it fit versus this is the problem I have.
Yep.
How can AI help? How do
Yep.
you address those conversations when people just want AI?
Yeah, so and that's usually what the clients will say. They'll come to their MSP and they'll say, "Yes, I definitely want AI. AIify my business." And it's like, okay, what does that look like? What are you trying to do? What are you hoping it will do? And so it isn't just let's adopt Claude. Okay, fine, maybe that's the right solution. But before we make that determination, what are you wanting Claude or the replacement for Claude to do? Are we trying to save time? Are we trying to get data from one point to the other? Are we trying to create marketing material? Like there's lots of different things that AI can do. What's that use case? And a lot of times the clients will be like, I don't know. I just keep hearing that AI is going to revolutionize my business and, maybe let me sleep till noon every day. I don't know. I want the shiny penny that AI
Yeah.
is supposed to bring me. And that's when the MSPs are stepping back and saying, okay, let's talk through some use cases.
Yeah.
And so I coach them through, kind of four categories. Are we looking to save money? Are we looking to save time? There's probably a fifth category that I need to add to my training, and that is the category of not I want to do my job more efficiently, but there's things in my job that I've never been able to do because I just don't have enough time.
Mm.
And so an easy example is like pre-call research, right? Like I'm a salesperson. I know before I sit down with a prospect, I should do some research on them. I should know about their business. I should know about their executive team. Like we
Yeah.
have a list of things, but to open up LinkedIn and the website and Clay and Facebook or wherever we're doing our research, it's time. I don't have that time. I'm time strapped. A lot of your clients will probably be like, I don't have time to do that. I know why I should. And sometimes it's as simple as a custom GPT or a gem if they're in Gemini. And I did that for the longest time manually. I could drop in Mary's email address and it would give back a whole lot of information based on me training it. So it would go out to Mary's
Yeah.
company, and all of this. Once we get like the basics done manually, then we can talk about automating it. But even just giving them the ability to manually do a task in 2 minutes that they weren't actually doing before at
Mhm.
all is a time savings. It's kind of, it's this wish list item. It takes the guiltiness away from the role. Like a lot of us hold, like I should be doing this, but I'm not. And now you've relieved that, which is very powerful psychologically.
No, I think so. And believe it or not, we're at 12:15.
I mean, we were close. I'm like looking at the clock, or looking at the camera
I
rather.
think I think the biggest message I got from you today is that it teaches MSPs to be consultative.
Yes,
They
100.
are not selling tools, and nobody cares about that. Their clients don't care what tools they're being provided. They care that they're taken care of and
Correct.
they have a trusted advisor.
Yep, 100%.
I love it. Jennifer, this has been wonderful. We could do this for 2 hours.
I'm sure we could.
But thank you so much for coming on and just, I think if nothing else, you lit a fire under those that are not comfortable providing this to their clients, and I think you're giving them a springboard.
Yeah, 100%. I thank you for the opportunity. I love it. Any chance I have to chat with you and MSPs at the same time is totally a win.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful week.
You too.